At the Bob Price Auto Group, we put the focus on you, where we strive for excellence in sales and service. Come see why we should be your number one choice. Check out this 2019 Silverado for only $28,990, or leased for $399 a month for 24 months with zero down. Or this 2019 Silverado Texas Edition, only $30,990. With the Bob Price promise, we'll beat any other GM dealer's price. Visit us today or online at bobpriceautogroup.com.
It's game day for our Fredericksburg Battlin Billies. Church's Chicken in Fredericksburg has game day specials. The $20 game day and the $25 MVP family special. 12 dark pieces, 3 large sides, 6 honey butter biscuits, half a gallon of tea, and 4 apple pies. Student lunch specials starting as low as $4. Available for everyone Monday through Friday, 11 to 2, and dollar drinks all day. Try the Flamin' Honey Megabites Combo. Church's Chicken in Fredericksburg. Open every day, 10:30 to 10, 614 East Main, 830-997-7333.
Barefoot at 108 East Main in Fredericksburg can help you show your Battlin Billy pride. An epic selection of Battlin Billy gear. Barefoot also has a store full of hats, tees, tanks, polos, sweatshirts, and more. New items arriving weekly. Also adult, youth, toddler, and baby items. Don't forget the faculty discount, 15% off your entire purchase every day. Barefoot, 108 East Main in Fredericksburg. Online, barefootcampusoutfitter.com.
The Inside Story has been family-owned and operated since 1981. The Inside Story is your custom decorating center with in-house designers, and the owners install your flooring too, so you know satisfaction is guaranteed. They sell carpet, wood flooring, ceramic tile, luxury vinyl, area rugs, wallpaper, paint, and much more. See the Inside Story's extensive showroom, Highway 16 South in Fredericksburg, online at theinsidestorytx.com.
Who's fired up? Who's fired up for some Battlin Billy football? I mean, we got some
Shame
2 W's, 2-0 in district. Got fall weather here. It's going to be cold tonight. Got football weather. Big win at home last week, 35-10 over Taylor. Like I said, 2-0 in district.
Yep.
All smiles. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Let's
ready.
keep it
I'm
rolling,
glad
baby.
You're back, too. And I'm not so superstitious that I made Jody come back, because we won. We won when you were here, and we beat Liberty Hill, so that's good. So
good stuff, Coach.
Yeah.
Man, how do you
Great
feel? I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How do you feel being undefeated?
Yeah.
I guess the first time since 2013.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, we struggled in district. I mean, we've struggled in district since 2013. We made the playoffs in 16 and 17, but we still struggled in district, and so it was always, the mindset is we got to get ready for district. And I'll give our other sport coaches a little bit of credit. I watch them, and I watch the struggles they go through in non-district. And I'm talking about Tim Kamen in basketball, and Kerry Grona in basketball, and Jason Raymer and Casey Ritteman before him, and then him before her, and Randall King and all our other team sports. They play an exceptionally difficult non-district schedule. Randall King and I were talking about it yesterday. They won the regional finals yesterday. Shout out to tennis they won the regional semifinals. They're playing in the finals right now. In fact, they're starting right now. And when you go to state in tennis, team tennis, they seed you based on your record. And so even though we're defending state champions, we're probably going to be seeded 4th if we're able to beat Bernie today. We're going to be seeded 4th because we lost some matches in pre-district. And the reasoning behind that is so we could make it to the state tournament. And
exactly.
So, take a page out of their playbook. You go into realignment 2 years ago, and you rekindle the rivalry with Kerrville. You pick up a talented, athletic San Antonio Sam Houston team so that you can see the kind of speed and the kind of talent you're going to see in the playoffs.
Right.
And you're going to see when you play Taylor. And then you pick up a Bastrop Cedar Creek team that's on the rise, that has Division I talent. And then, you pick up your old foes that you've always played that always give you a great matchup, as Bernie and Wimberley. And so, I mean, this is where we want to be. This is why we do what we do. And I couldn't be happier. We've said it all along that, food tastes better when you're 2-0,
right?
And you've won 3 in a row.
Everything's better.
Everything is better. And I mean, it's just, it's just human nature that when things are going well, everything's good. And so certainly, you got to put in the time and be cautious not to get complacent and do all that stuff. But I'd much rather be 2-0 than 0-2 like we were last year. So we're certainly in a good place. The kids are, playing exceptionally well. And I couldn't be more pleased with, with the coaching, what's going on with the coaching and our game planning. And,
no kidding.
And all the stuff we're doing. I mean, we just, and I said it, I think 2 weeks ago after Liberty Hill, you got great leadership and you got great talent. And you put those two things together and this is what happens. It's not I said it from day one, February 1st of 2011 when I got here, there is no secret to this. I don't have a magic play or a magic bean or a book that has a secret in it that divulges how you do this. I mean, it is 100% great leadership, great talent, hard work, and loving each other and getting after it. I mean, that's what it takes.
I posted something on Twitter, and I wish I could give the author of it credit, but I like the quote, and I know you shared it.
Yeah.
Build a team so strong you can't point out the leader. And I think I thought of the Billies. I thought of the Billy football team when I put that out there. That's right now. That's what's going on here. I mean, it's just everybody's contributing. From the trainers to the the coaches,
and that's the thing is, I mean, like I said, we have talent. I'm not going to deny that we're talented because in this business, your ebb and flow goes based on having talent. Certainly, Tucker Elliott and Jarrett Beard are good football players. Judd Beard is a good football player. Christian, I mean, I go down the list. We've got several guys that are really good at their craft and what they do, but the leadership component is what matters, and how much they love each other and how much are they willing to stick their foot in the ground and go do something that's unnatural, go hit somebody else, 115 times in a game, or go be hit 115 times in a game. And so, when they're willing to do that, they're willing to sacrifice their body for their team, and they're willing, and tonight's a great example. I mean, our two edge guys that are going to be playing on the end of the line tonight on defense are going to have to take on pulling blockers on every single play. And 2 weeks ago against Liberty Hill, they did it over and over and over. And of course, the linebackers were making tackles and the safeties were coming down and making tackles. But none of that happens if you don't have, Gavin French or Dylan Arns or Rob Zimmer-Buehler or Tucker Elliott or Quentin Petch going in and sacrificing their body every single play and giving it up for their teammates. And that's, it's a beautiful thing because Coach Wilder just talked about this in our defensive team meeting before we came over here. It's a beautiful thing because it's the greatest life lesson that young men ought to learn, because once you give your life to your wife, to your children, that's what it is the rest of your life.
Amen.
And so, it's a great metaphor, and I, certainly don't want to be cliche in it, but that's where we are. These kids love each other enough that they're willing to do whatever it takes for each other, and I couldn't be more proud of them. And that's, like you said, that's why we have 6 captains, because there's not one guy that stands out as the leader. I mean, we've got 6 captains. We've got another 14 guys that are on the leadership council, and I would point to those guys too. I mean, Jack Gallagher has kind of become our team chaplain, which is something you need. He's the one that typically leads our prayers after games and stuff like that. So, unselfishness abounds, and as long as that stays the course, then we have a chance to be pretty good. So,
and when everybody buys in, that's a beautiful thing, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt.
Little sluggish start though last week. At the end of the first, it was 0-0. Did you just kind of? Do you think the team kind of overlooked Taylor a little bit? Or?
I really don't. I mean, human nature is hard to overcome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I heard Tom Herman say this. I always got to give him credit because my son works for the Longhorns and I watched them a lot. And I was listening to his coaching show the other night, and he said, we're trying to overcome human nature every day in practice. And so human nature is what it is. When you're playing an 0-6 team and you've just won 3 games in a row, or 2 games in a row and you're feeling pretty good about yourself because you just beat the state finalist. I mean, I don't, it's my job to sell them that, hey, this team's pretty good. And if you don't take care of it, they're going to give you a run for your money. And so, yeah, I mean, I think human nature is going to set in. But the thing that was cool about it is we never panicked. There was never I think maybe some people listening on the radio or people in the bleachers might have panicked because I think everybody thought, well, we're playing an 0-6 team and we've just scored 35 points and 42 points or whatever we scored against Bernie. And it's the end of the first quarter and it's 0-0. What's going on? Everybody's thinking, well, we ought to score 21 points in the first quarter. Well, luckily we waited till the second quarter to do that. So, but there was no panic. I mean, the kids, they knew. I mean, we just weren't able to really, get things going. And that's the cool thing is that I think the reason we're playing well right now is because our defense is giving our offense a chance to figure it out when they need to. And our offense is responding when defense has a problem. If they give up a touchdown or whatever, like the other night in the third quarter, we 3-and-outed Taylor. They punted to us. Number 23 is an exceptional player. I talked about him last week. Saucedo is his name, I think. I can't remember exactly. I don't have the roster, but exceptional player. He comes from the backside, and he tomahawks the ball out on Judd Beard's punt return. I mean, Judd didn't even know he was coming. He came from the back, and he knocked the ball out. They recover it, and they score on the next play. I mean, it's like, well, hold on. It was 21-0. Y'all aren't supposed to score. Oh, wait, they did. Okay, now we got to go answer. So offense took the ball, went and answered, got the 3-touchdown lead again. And so when you're playing football like that, sometimes it takes you time to figure it out, especially offensively. Coach Huff and Coach Gibbs, Coach Renault, and Coach Smith do such a great job of – they come into the game with a game plan, but you script out your first 10 or 12 or 15 plays or whatever, and you do that to see if they're going to do what you thought they were going to do. And in some cases, they don't. They do something different, and in our case, we have to figure out how they're going to try to neutralize Jarrett Beard. That's one of the things we got to try to figure out every week. And like at Bastrop Cedar Creek, they were good enough in their secondary to double cover him and single cover everybody else. And we couldn't throw the ball. I mean, that's why they beat us. And so coaches got to figure that stuff out in that first set of plays and in that time frame. And so, once we figure that out, once the kids communicate with the coaches and, okay, well, we can do this and we can do that, then everything kind of comes together. And then, I pressed a little bit. I won't lie about that. When we had a couple of big plays happen, we went down and scored kind of methodically, and then they got the ball back and they threw an interception. Rob Zuberbuehler got a great interception right there on our sideline, and I had already told Huff, if we get a quick change or a sudden change, let's take a shot. And so as soon as that interception happened, we ran a deep ball to Jarrett, and he ran right by the guy, and Tucker threw a great ball, and it was a touchdown. So, I mean, we ran one play, and it's 14-0.
Yeah.
And now you're going, okay, now we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, So, and then we had another pretty good drive the next drive. So, I don't worry about stuff like that as long as we keep our calm. If we start panicking and start pointing fingers and yelling, and like I've alluded to most of the years, that's something that, I've been praying about and asking God for the strength to not reflect negativity in those moments, because if I reflect negativity on the kids, then they see that and they mirror that, and the coaches too. So trying to stay positive and believe in each other, and if you really believe in each other, then you don't ever sweat it.
Right.
And that's kind of what they did. So, overall, certainly we didn't score any points in the first quarter, and it was 0-0, but we won 35-10. You win in district 35-10, and it's a good win, period.
You bet.
It doesn't matter how bad Canyon Lake beat them or how bad Liberty Hill's going to beat them or whatever.
Heck, you win 35-34.
We're 2-0. Here we go.
Exactly. So watching the film, though, as a whole, what were the good, the bad, and the ugly in the film?
Yeah, I think I already alluded to some of the offensive stuff.
Right.
So I won't talk too much about that. But defensively, I think Coach Wilder and his group, Coach Dietrich, Coach Petch, Coach Hanley, and Coach Riley, are doing a great job of putting the kids in the right position to be able to take away what the other team's good at. And we knew that 23 was exceptional. We knew that they wanted to run the outside zone. They wanted to try to get the ball in his hand. And I don't think he had any big explosive runs. He had some really big explosive runs against some people that they'd played previous to us. I mean, he busted one against Canyon Lake, and I mean, he was gone a 70-something yard run or whatever. And they just did a really good job of game planning to keep everything in front and spill it to where the tackler was going to be. And so I think, I'm real pleased with that, real pleased with – I couldn't be more pleased with the way the defense is playing in the first 2 district games and going back to Bernie. So that's a good thing. I already mentioned the offensive stuff. I think Coach Huff and his staff did a good job.
Special teams.
Special teams. We struggled a little bit with the pooch kick. We're trying to get a pooch kick so that, if it's up to me, we'd kick it out of the end zone every time. It'd be like watching an NFL game. We'd kick it, try to make a field goal on every kick, but we don't have a kicker that can do that. So we've got to kind of improvise, and sometimes they don't get it right. I mean, we tried to pooch it. We're trying to pooch it, which a pooch kick is a high kick, and we're trying to force the return team to fair catch it. Because that's a new rule that changed a couple of years ago. You can now fair catch a kickoff, and if you fair catch it, you get it on the 25, or you get it wherever you fair catch it. So we're trying to pooch the ball between the 20 and the 25-yard line, and we're trying to pooch it high enough so that they have to fair catch it. Because if you kick it high enough and everybody's coming down, they're going to fair catch it. Most teams are taught that if it's a high kick, you're going to fair catch it. And so that's what we're trying to do. First couple of kickoffs, we shortened it a little bit. We, again, opportunistic. They fumbled it around, and we ended up recovering it, and we went and scored right then. And so that was a big momentum change in the game. And, I mean, we didn't run an onside kick. People think, well, golly, we're gambling. We're running 2 onside kicks in 2 games. No, that was just they screwed up, and we got the ball. So, that worked out well too. And then I can't give Zuber Bueller enough credit. He's just he's a stud. I mean, he is a football playing dude. He is everything he does turns out to be pretty good most of the time. You got that interception. He's typically flipping the field when he punts the ball. And so, yeah, I mean, we're in a good place. We're able to overcome. The best thing we're doing, as I mentioned, is if defense needs to rise up because offense made a mistake, then they will. Like, what do? We turned it over. No, they got a big – that's what it was, special teams. They got a big kickoff return because we knew that Taylor was going to – they always try to reverse it and get it to 23 because he's the fastest guy on the team. And so we were trying to kick it away from him. Well, one time, Rob kicked his pooch kicks a little short, so we put Cadero back in, and he kicked his – well, he kicked his a little too deep. So between the two, they were able to do what they wanted to do. They ran that little reverse, and the kid kept it, and we only had 2 guys out there, and they were able to get up the sideline. They got a big return, and our defense stepped up and held them to a field goal rather than letting them get a touchdown. And so that's kind of the opportunistic nature of the way that I think we're playing right now that has been beneficial to us in all 3 phases.
Absolutely.
So it's been good.
Well, how was practice this week? What did y'all focus on?
It was a good week. It's cool. I'm fired up because I'm Mr. Type A, right? Mr. Schedule. And for the next 3 weeks, we get to practice the exact same way all 3 weeks. Like Monday is going to be Monday, and Tuesday is going to be Tuesday, and Wednesday is going to be Wednesday, and Thursday is going to be Thursday, which it is every week. But our practice schedule has been changing because of the SAT or because of a student holiday or because of, there's always these things that we have to adapt and adjust to. And so for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be on a regular, normal, routine practice schedule. And so that's a really good thing. I think that kids kind of like that a little bit better, and the coaches do certainly. And so good week of practice. We're certainly nursing some injuries, if you will, and I'm certainly not going to divulge what those are publicly, but we're trying to rest some kids, and we're trying to get some kids healthy so that we can finish the year down the stretch. And so we're being very deliberate about who we're holding out of practice and who we're letting just watch and stuff like that. So, and that's typical of this time of year, as you get late, kind of coming down the home stretch, all roads lead to the playoffs, and that's kind of what we're all trying to attain to and aspire to. So, but I think we've had a great week of practice. I think our tempo's been good, our execution's been good, our personnel. We're just to get through practice, because we're resting some kids at certain positions, we're having to look at some younger kids at those positions so we can get through practice, and that's always a good thing too, because then you get to see what you got coming down the road. So overall, it's been a great week.
Awesome. Glad to hear that.
You bet.
Without a doubt. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll talk about the Whataburger Players of the Week.
Oh, yeah.
From Taylor, and Varsity Players of the Week, all that good stuff coming up right here. United-Live.com, TexasRadio.net. Gaddy's Pizza in Fredericksburg is a huge supporter of Battlin Billies Sports, students, and teachers. In fact, Gaddy's offers a lunch special for teachers and students Monday through Friday for only $6.99, and that includes a drink. Gaddy's Pizza also has pasta, dessert, and one of the best salad bars in town. Enjoy the game room. Kids of all ages love it. Gaddy's takes pizza seriously. 2931 Highway 16 South in Fredericksburg. Billy Pride, Iberales.
Arrowhead Bank has provided quality banking services for the Texas Hill Country for 96 years. This time-tested practice continues even in today's technologically advanced world. Online commercial services, person-to-person payments, and mobile banking are just a few of the products Arrowhead Bank offers for your financial convenience. Visit us today at arrowheadbanktexas.com and try us out for safe and sound banking technology. Arrowhead Bank, a better brand of banking since 1923. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Dutchman's Meat Market in Fredericksburg is the place for premium meats. Not only can you find the best cuts of meat, but Dutchman's has fresh sandwiches for lunch, a variety of snack sticks, multiple jerkies, and dried sausage. Dutchman's also has a large assortment of rubs, spices, and sauces for all your meats. So go see Dutchman's at 1609 East Main in Fredericksburg, or call in an order at 830-997-5693 or online at dutchmansmarket.com.
Don't forget the poppers! Hill Country Refrigeration has provided the Texas Hill Country with quality heating, air conditioning, and commercial refrigeration service for 45 years. They offer dependable, friendly, and professional customer service. Hill Country Refrigeration can also assist with new construction design and installation. Hill Country Refrigeration, customizing comfort in the Hill Country since 1974. Call 830-997-2584. Online, hillcountryrefrigeration.com. License number TACLB 005208C.
Here we are.
We're back.
We're back.
Look at that great shot of Barefoot.
And we're back. Barefoot live.
Barefoot and
all the Billy gear behind us. We still got to sell out some Billy gear.
Lots of beautiful picture in that frame. Beautiful people in that picture frame there. I like it.
No doubt. No doubt.
Oh, look at these two guys.
Hey, look at these guys. Here we go. We're back. Here we go. Face for radio.
And a voice for newspaper.
And a voice for newspaper, no doubt.
All right, Whataburger Players of the Week. Who we got, Coach?
Yeah, Whataburger Players of the Week for last week, Taylor. JV Red, Trip Dennis, number 17. Just an amazing kid. Plays wide receiver, plays defensive back. Been a leader all the way back to off-season. Had a really good off-season. Never missed a day. Mr. Consistent, and has been that way throughout the year. And so really proud of him. He's one of our leadership council guys. Was just selected by his teammates. So he got the JV Red Player of the Week. JV White team versus Canyon Lake. And I'll note that they played them for the third time last night. They played Canyon Lake 3 times. I think we talked about that before. We're the only 2 teams that have those teams. So, but Matthew Voorhees, number 21, a little running back, DB, outside linebacker type player, exceptionally fast, and had a really good game last week on the road at Canyon Lake. And then freshman player of the week is Gary Seidenberger, who, that may be the first time Billy Lance heard that name, but certainly they're going to hear it again because he's a baller, and we're exceptionally excited. He played at St. Mary's, had a great career there, and has been lighting it up on the freshman running back, linebacker, big thick kid that can run. He's pretty fast, and he's not afraid to stick his nose in there. He'll light you up, if he needs to. And so he's having a really good year leading that freshman group. So real proud of those 3 guys for their works on the sub-varsity. And then our players of the week for varsity, special team, Dylan Arns. Dylan has been Mr. Consistent on the special teams and on offense. Certainly, he hasn't played as much on defense recently, but he's going to get back into that routine as well. But had a really good game last week on special teams. I think he recovered a fumble and on the kickoff that we weren't trying to do an onside kick, but heads up play, and he was able to get it, and that kind of sparked us and kind of going where we needed to be. And the defensive player of the week, Luke Duderstadt. I think this is his second time to get it. And if you're playing right on defense, then the guy that plays his position ought to be the defensive player of the week every week, because the defense is designed for your middle linebacker to make most of the tackles. And that's every defense in the history of mankind has been designed to funnel everything to that guy and the free safety. And so it's a testament to Coach Wilder that our defensive scheme is working the way it's supposed to, because Luke is our production leader. Luke and Hunter Metzger have been our production leaders almost every week. And then every now and then, a defensive lineman will get a few sacks or tackles for a loss, or somebody will get an interception that'll, give them some more points. But our linebackers have been consistently at the top of production every week. And so I couldn't be more happy for Luke. Program kid. I've talked about him before. He just worked his tail off. And unselfish leader. Last year as a junior, played on the JV, and an example of why you play them on the JV when they're juniors, because they're not quite ready for the varsity. But having played 10 games on the JV, he had an outstanding year on the JV last year, and that got him ready to step in and be the starter that he is this year. So exceptionally proud of him for what he's done. And then offensive player of the week, say this every week. I love it when a lineman is the player of the week.
I do
offense.
too.
Landon West, number 56, Mr. Consistent up front, and I'm so proud of him because he's a team leader and always has been through his actions. But this year he's kind of gotten vocal. Couple of times after practice or after a game, he's said something, and Landon's, he's kind of, I don't remember the old financial company, but when he speaks, everybody's going to listen because he doesn't speak very much. And so when he actually has something to say, it's pretty meaningful. And so you see him developing as a leader and understanding how his influence can affect others. And so I couldn't be more proud of him. And he's also a guy that plays on the defensive line. He's one of our offensive linemen that has to play on defense. Derek Whitworth, Jack Gallagher are the other two that have to play a little bit on defense as well. And so, that's a tough deal to play in the trenches on both sides of the ball. So you got to be a pretty tough kid, and Landon is just being a great leader. So those are the players of the week from Taylor, and couldn't be more happy for those guys and what they're accomplishing.
Hats off to them.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, the third game of district tonight at 6-1 Canyon Lake. Yeah. Always a tough place to play there.
Yeah, man. And how do you know we're playing Canyon Lake? It's cold and it's windy.
Right.
Holy cow. Every time we play them, especially over there, it seems like it's always cold and the wind's howling. So today should be no exception for that. But, yeah, it's a tough place to play. It's a hostile environment. They create a great game day atmosphere. Coach Drum has got that program rocking and rolling. I think last year they were 7-0 when we played them. This year they're 6-1. They're a really good program, no question. They're 2-0 in district like we are. So tonight's game, ought to have some playoff implications. Which, 2 weeks ago I congratulated the team in our team meeting, and I said, "Congratulations, you've made the 2019 playoffs." They start with the first game of district, because now every game matters, and we've got to stay ahead of the ball and take care of business. And so, we're fortunate to be where we are at 2-0, and tonight is a game that really has some meaning. Hadn't played a game like this. We played last year against Lampasas with the same kind of meaning. We win that game and we finish second place in district, but this game we can clinch a playoff spot and set ourselves up to be able to try to go after a district title.
Nice.
Certainly, Canyon Lake wants to do the same thing. So, and what better could you ask for in late October when it's cold outside and everything's going? So,
well, how do the Hawks look? Obviously, with a 6-1 record, they've got something going on.
Yeah.
So,
they certainly look good. They always look good. I like I said, hats off to Coach Drum and his staff. They've built a program over there that it consistently wins, consistently has success. They've been to the play. I can't remember if they've ever not made the playoffs. So perennial playoff team. They run the slot T on offense, which similar to Liberty Hill. Yeah. I would argue, I say this every year, say it to anybody that'll listen. I think Coach Moses, their OC, does it better than anybody that does it in terms of counteracting what you're trying to do on defense. When you try to take away the buck sweep, then he runs the buck sweep and brings the quarterback out the back door. Or if you try to take away the trap, then they fake the trap and they hand it off on the jet sweep. Or they have a counter for everything you do. And so that makes it exceptionally difficult to defense them. They want to control the clock. They want to take the ball, and they want to get 3.5 yards a play, and typically 3.5 and 3.5 and 3.5 is a first down.
Yeah,
right. I'm not a math major, but that's 10.5 yards or 11 yards. I don't know what it is, but like I said, not a math major. But that's what they want to do, and so really proud of the game plan we had against Liberty Hill. That's what they want to do too. So I like the way we defense them. Typically, we defense them well. And so, I like that matchup from a coaching perspective this year. They're exceptionally talented. The quarterback, the thing that they're doing differently this year is they're using a lot more formations, and they're actually throwing it a lot more. I think if my statistics are right, they've thrown the ball almost 60 times this year, which for a slot T team, that's unheard of. Typically, they throw it 3 to 5 times a game. And 5 is on the high end. Now, I'm not sure how many of those they've completed, but their percentage of pass to touchdowns is pretty high because typically, as we always talk about when you play a slot T, normally when they throw a pass, it's to a guy who's wide open streaking down the sideline because you didn't have good eye discipline or you chose to take a play off and not read your key and look in the backfield and you stopped and the guy ran right by you. And so they're doing a lot more stuff this year. They certainly have more formations to offer, and their quarterback is pretty good. He can throw it a little bit, and they've got some really big healthy receivers who can get open, and then they always have the good wing back and the good fullback and the good slot back that do all the cross action and all the stuff that they do. And then, of course, they're always good up front. Their linemen come off the ball and they run well and they come downhill in a hurry. So they are definitely a formidable offense. Defensively, this is, excuse me, probably when you play slot T teams, the defense doesn't get as much recognition, but consistently year in and year out, if I'm describing Canyon Lake, I would say that they're typically really good on defense. They run a 4-3 defense. They're going to keep 7 guys in the box as often as possible to stop the run. And then they're going to play a cover 4 behind it, and they're going to play it typically deeper than most people because they don't want you to get behind them. So if you start creeping up your 4 DBs and try to enter them into the run game, then you can get behind them. And so they typically don't do that. They typically have their cover 4 shell, if you will, and they stay deep, and they make you be disciplined on offense by taking the underneath stuff. And so, they're good on both sides of the ball. And then the third area that they kind of made a huge commitment to, 5 years ago or whatever, is their kicking game. Their special team coordinator, Coach Green, I believe is his name, he does a outstanding job of giving you different looks on special teams. When they kick off, when we're looking at their kickoff team, they're going to have 3 guys that might kick the ball like there's a guy on the right, guy on the left, and a guy in the middle, and all three of them are right over the ball. And this guy might come in, and then that guy will kick the ball, or these guys will cross, and then that guy will kick the ball. And so they create this I call it eye wash. You have to
right.
have great vision, and you have to be ready. And so they do little things like that. Their punt formation is a kind of a normal, not for slot T, but a normal spread offense formation, and they run a little rugby punt where the punter, he gets the ball and he's going to run to his right, and if you don't fit all your gaps, he's been given the green light to just pick a gap and go. And so they spend a great deal of time on special teams. They force you to fit all your gaps and make sure that you're playing sound. And so all three of those phases of the game together, and you're 6-1. I mean, they're a good team. They're a good program. They coach well, I would argue that they're as good as anybody in our district.
Should be one heck of a game.
They probably weren't picked as high as Liberty Hill and as high as Lampasas, but they certainly deserve the recognition. Surely now they're in the prediction phase of going after a district title, just like we are, and just like Lampasas is.
Well, how's the district race shaping up right now?
Yeah,
I know it's early.
It's interesting that the three teams that won the first week all won the second week, so they didn't have to play each other. So this is the first week that the undefeated teams have to play each other. Lampasas last week beat Liberty Hill at home, which we were kind of hoping maybe Liberty Hill would give them a battle. They really didn't. Lampasas, as I've stated several times, was the team that I thought was going to be the best team in the district, just based on who they had coming back and all that. I mean, they're ranked number 9 in the state. They're number 1 or number 2 in the region. They beat Liberty Hill at home last week, and it was a big win. And then Canyon Lake beat Burnett in a pretty close game. I think maybe Burnett was ahead at one point, and then Canyon Lake battled back and ended up winning 28-20. So Canyon Lake's 2-0, we're 2-0, and Lampasas is 2-0, and then Taylor, Liberty Hill, and Burnett are all 0-2. So there's kind of a clear division between the top 3 and the bottom 3 right now, but after tonight, that could go the other way. Liberty Hill's playing Burnett, Taylor's playing Lampasas, and we're playing Canyon Lake. So this is the first big 2-0 matchup tonight between us and Canyon Lake. So, and then everything has implications. I mean, like I said, I think in a 6-team district, if you get 3 wins, you're probably going to be in the playoffs. It'd be very hard for you not to make the playoffs with 3 wins. So that's kind of when you're setting goals as a team. That's kind of your first goal is you want to secure a playoff spot, and then you want to try to go after a district title. And so winning your first 2 games in district puts you in position to be able to do that. You get behind that, you lose one of those games, then you have to count on somebody else getting beat by somebody else. But right now, as in everything, you want to be in control of your own destiny, and that's certainly where we are. And I'm exceptionally happy for our kids that they get to control it rather than depending on someone else.
Right?
I'll for the rest of my life, I'll remember my son's senior year. Canyon Lake had to beat Taylor for us to make the playoffs, and they got rained out on Friday night, and they played on Saturday, and all the kids had gone home, and I was listening to the game on the radio in my office, and Canyon Lake was up by 3 touchdowns, and it looked like they were going to win, and we were going to make the playoffs, and all we had to do was go beat Taylor the next week on the road, and Canyon Lake ended up turning it over 4 or 5 times in the second half, and Taylor came back and won. Taylor beat them, and so even if we beat Taylor, it didn't matter. We weren't going to make the playoffs, and that was the year we beat Taylor in overtime at their place. And so that's the difference between controlling your own destiny and having to wait on someone else to do something. And last year was similar too. We needed to beat Lampasas. We didn't. But even if we lost to Lampasas, if Burnett would have beat Taylor, we would have been in the playoffs. And Taylor ended up winning the last game of the year and making the playoffs. And so you don't want to take the control out of your hands and put it in somebody else's hands. So, we certainly have to have to get after it tonight and take care of business.
Man, like I said, got the football weather.
Yeah.
Should be a huge crowd over there. Lots of red in the
It's
stands,
crazy,
I'm
man.
sure.
The weather is awesome. I hope the kids like it. I hope we don't overreact to the weather. It was 85 degrees yesterday morning, and this morning I drove to work and it was 39 or something. I don't know. So, it's great, and it should be a great night.
You bet. Great night for football.
No doubt.
We're going to talk about the sub-varsity after the break, but we are going to take a quick break. Make sure you get out there and support all of our sponsors. Barefoot here, too.
No question.
You can see it behind us, a lot of Battlin Billy gear here.
Java Ranch.
Sweatshirts.
Right.
What's that?
Java Ranch coffee, right?
Oh, yeah, Java Ranch. We got the coffee going. And
coffee with Coach and muffins over there. Shout out to our team dinner sponsors. This week they had team dinner at Max Barbecue. Shout out to them. That's the first shout out to them. They hosted our team dinner, and they've done a great job. Wes is the proprietor of that business, and he's kind of connected with us, and he wants to be more involved in our stuff. So we appreciate him. Backwoods Barbecue last week, West End Pizza, Auslander, and Airport Diner all have been instrumental in helping us, do our operations of team dinner. And it's been really a cool deal for that.
So get out there and support all these folks,
no doubt.
All of our sponsors.
No doubt.
We'll be right back. United-Live.com, TexasRadio.net.
Hey, volleyball fans. Joseph Financial Partners is here to support the Battlin Billies and to help you with all of your financial goals. Whether it's saving for retirement, college savings, or even life insurance or long-term care, we've got your back. Let us serve up an appointment with you, then dig into your finances, goals, and dreams. Hey, and then we can assist and set a plan in motion and spike your goals to score. Success takes teamwork, so call Joseph Financial Partners at 830-997-4763 or check us out online at josephfinancialpartners.com. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA.
Canop Healthcare in Fredericksburg, established in 1965, offers the Texas Hill Country assisted living, long-term care, and physical, occupational, and speech therapy. Canop Healthcare is family-owned and operated with skilled nurses in every department. Plus, they offer the Hill Country memory care. Find them at canophealthcare.com or call 830-997-3704.
Hills of Texas Homes in Fredericksburg designs homes for you built by engineers. The Stevens family does everything in-house to build your home, so no outside architect or plan designer is required. When you're building the home of your dreams, that's peace of mind. Hills of Texas Homes has won numerous awards from the Hill Country Builders Association and Parade of Homes. Hills of Texas Homes will work with you through the entire building process. Call 830-889-7900 or visit hillsoftexashomes.com.
When you have an accident in that vehicle you rely on, there is peace of mind in the Hill Country. Lance's Body and Paint, they offer all types of collision repair. They work with all insurance companies. Lance's Body and Paint is I-CAR certified, so you know you're getting the latest repair technology in Fredericksburg and in the Texas Hill Country. Lance's Body and Paint, Highway 290 East in Fredericksburg, supports our Fredericksburg Battlin Billies. Call 830-990-2900.
Touch Well Service will take care of all your water well needs that come after drilling. They specialize in water pump installation and repairs, servicing windmills, solar pumps, jets, submersible pumps, and pressure tanks. Touch Well Service has been in business since 2002 with 83 years combined experience. Their entire staff is dedicated to their customers. Touch Well Service supports all men and women in the United States military and first responders. Touch Well Service, 830-997-2413. On the web, hillcountrywaterwell.com, and look for them on Facebook.
All right.
We're back. Coffee with Coach.
Doing good on time, too.
Yeah, we are. I was going to say, got about, 15 minutes left?
Yeah.
Doing good. It's going by quickly here.
No doubt.
We're at Barefoot, 108 East Main, Fredericksburg. We're going to talk sub-varsity, Fredericksburg Middle School. St. Mary's got a big championship game tomorrow morning. How did the teams come out this week?
Yeah, well, it's easy. We got canceled yesterday, so pretty easy. Not a whole lot to talk about.
A lot of lightning, I guess.
Pleased with what's going on. We had great debate. I don't know, maybe people need to know this, what goes into all this decision-making, right? Yesterday morning, I got a call at 8 o'clock from Canyon Lake's head coach and said, hey, have you looked at the forecast? My administration is concerned about us traveling during the weather. And so we both we agreed that we would monitor the weather all day. Shortly after that, Burnett called. Same thing. Our middle school was playing at Burnett last night. And so, we spent most of the morning looking at WeatherBug on your phone, seeing the squall line, if you will, the line of storms. It stayed north of us for most of the day. But the forecast was for about 4 o'clock was going to go up to 70% chance of rain plus thunderstorms plus whatever. And so, Burnett, we talked early in middle school. We decided to cancel that one at about 2 o'clock. That's about the time our kids were going to get out of school and head over there for a 4 o'clock game. And so we canceled that game early. Coach Drum and I agreed to wait till 2:30. They had to get out of class at 2:45 and leave at 3 to get their their first JV team over here for the 4:30 kickoff. And at 2:30, we both looked at it. We're talking on the phone. We looked at it. It looks good. The line of storms is still north of us. The forecast still says, at 4 o'clock, it's still coming. But we decided to go. So they came and they showed up, and we got the first game in. Our JV white team fell. It's the third time they played them. It was 18-18 to start the game because we did a running score in the deal because it's the third time they played. We ended up losing, I think, 46-32. So we ended up losing by 2 touchdowns. We turned the ball over 4 or 5 times. And so just the fact that we were able to hang with them and only lose by 2 scores was a testament to how hard they played. But right at the end of their game, the bottom fell out of the sky, and it was sideways rain. I mean, you couldn't even see, and there was lightning in the area. UIL rules, UIL recommendation and rules says that lightning within a 10-mile radius of a venue, and you exit the venue. So we sent everybody in the locker room, and then for every lightning strike after that,
it's 30 minutes, isn't it?
It's 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
And so poor Coach Natalie Hanley, our trainer, she gets charged with the duty of restarting the clock. And so when that's going down, no one's real happy with her at that moment because she keeps telling us that there's another strike and there's another strike and there's another strike and there's another strike. And good for her personality being courageous enough to handle that duty because we have 10 coaches on our staff, and they've got 5 or 6 coaches here, and we all want to play football, and the rain stops, and, we're ready to go back out, and the lightning keeps happening, and it keeps happening, and it keeps happening. And so, and that storm sat on top of us till I think the last strike we got was going to push the game all the way back to like 7:45. And so we sat in the locker room and rode out the storm, and then finally we just said, look, we're not going to get this in tonight. We need to get kids home. They got to go to school and whatever. So Canyon Lake loaded up, and thankfully our booster club fed them. We were able to give their kids a burger and a bag of chips or whatever, and they got on the bus and went home. So we didn't get to play any of our games yesterday. And shout out to St. Mary's. They won their first round playoff game last week at home, and they're playing for the championship this week.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, 9 against
9
Holy
a.m.
Cross
Yeah.
Central Catholic High School. San Antonio.
Central Catholic High School. So, Coach Lott's got them going again. The bad news is when it's a sub-varsity situation, when you cancel, you typically don't make it up. And that kind of stinks because nobody in our sub-varsity program except our JV white team is going to get to play that game. So we won't be able to make that up. But middle school's last game of the year will be next week. And I think they're splitting. One group's going to be at Marble Falls and one group's going to be at home. And then our sub-varsities will kind of blend back together. Our JV white team won't have any more games. We were supposed to play Junction next Thursday with them, but their coach called yesterday and said they were down to just enough kids to play varsity. So we're not going to be able to play another JV white game. So we're going to have all our sophomores go back to play with the JV red, and all of our freshmen go back to play with the freshman red team for the next 2 weeks. So real happy with what's going on though. Like I said, the middle school FMS, they're playing as good or better than they have in many years.
Nice.
And our sub-varsity is doing well. Our little JV team is a bunch of scrappers, and they get after it, and they, I always feel bad for them because we're constantly pulling guys off of their team or whatever. Like this week's no exception. We pulled 2 guys from their team just to be backups on the varsity because of our injury and our illness situation. So we had to have a couple extra guys in case something bad happens. So, and they jumped into it and got after it. So, and that's what, that's it. Coach Wilder, Coach Huff, and I always talk to the kids about a next man up mentality. And that's what you're doing on the JV is you're preparing yourself to be the next guy up. And if you do a good enough job and we pay attention and you get our attention, then when we need somebody, and I'll shout out to those 2 guys, we're bringing Logan Metzger and Caleb Jacoby off the JV up to play outside linebacker for us. And those guys have done a great job. And, they're excited. I think they're both a little nervous, to be playing with the big boys. But it'll be fun to see them get to do some work. So it's good.
Sounds good. All right, I got to do this. Let me see if I can get this out of here. Keys to victory. We always do. We got to do it. I know it's usually the same.
Face for radio, right? Everybody can see the keys now, right? I think same cliche things. Obviously, we can't turn the ball over. We have to take care of the ball on offense. We have to convert in the red zone. We have to sustain some drives, but specifically to Canyon Lake, and I think we did this against Liberty Hill 2 weeks ago. Doesn't mean we're going to do it tonight, but we certainly need to do it. We got to have great eye discipline. One of the things I was on defense, one of the things I was most pleased of against Liberty Hill is that we, out of the multiple times they had to try to throw, because we were ahead, they had to try to throw to try to get back in the game. I think we only turned one guy loose all night, and it was a back out of the backfield on a rail route, which even if you're not playing the slot T, you might turn a back loose on a rail route because you got to have a linebacker run with a back up the sideline.
Right.
And so that's the only guy we turned loose. Every other receiver that they sent out on a route was covered by somebody. And so reference that ahead 2 weeks, we got to have great eye discipline on defense. We've got to be able to read our keys. We've got to trust our keys. We've got to trust our teammates. I alluded to the fact that our outside linebackers have to be willing to sacrifice their body. Our defensive tackles, our defensive ends have to be willing to sacrifice their body when the pullers come at them. And then our linebackers and our shell guys have to be able to read their key and do their job. And if they can do that, then we'll certainly have an opportunity to get Canyon Lake behind the chains. That's what you want to do. We were able to do that. And I'll admit that we had some help. We had some penalties that helped us. They turned the ball over a few times. I mean, they made some mistakes, but from a defensive being sound standpoint, I mean, we were there every time. I mean, we had somebody there to make a tackle, to make a play, whatever. And so if we can do that again, then, get them behind the chains, force them to do something they don't want to do, and force them to punt and give us the ball back. Offensively, I think we have to, at least early, we have to be less tempo and slow the game down. Coach Huff did a great job of that against Liberty Hill.
Yeah.
We had 32 minutes of possession against Liberty Hill, and they only had 15 minutes. So
wow.
When you're able to do that,
Yeah.
Keep their offense off the field, then you're able to be successful. And then I think we have to flip Canyon Lake's mindset on them on special teams. Like, we have to be able to take advantage of some momentum swings on special teams. We've alluded to recovering a fumble on a kickoff or flipping the field on a punt or whatever. And so, I think if we can put those three things together, which we've been able to do the last 2 weeks, then we're certainly going to be successful. But I mean, like I said earlier, there's not a secret book or a magic bean or whatever. I mean, football's simple. We've got to be physical. We've got to tackle well. We got to block well. We got to get off the ball well. We got to take care of the ball. We got to do all the fundamental stuff really well. And if we don't, then we're going to be in trouble. And that's not going to be the case because we're going to take care of those things.
Take care of business tonight against the Hawks.
I wrote this down last week. I'll repeat this. I talked to the kids about it. Practice like you've never won, right? Like you've never won a game. and then you got to play like you never lost.
Love it.
So you got to play with confidence, and I certainly think we're there in confidence. But when we go to practice, we got to pretend like we haven't won, and so you got to you win a game, you got to celebrate it Friday night, Saturday maybe Saturday night. And then by Monday, you got to forget about it and just keep getting better. So this week we've been talking about coaching. Our word of the week has been coach or coaching. And, our kids have done a great job of coaching each other. And that's what I've challenged. I mentioned some of the kids that might be injured. I didn't say their names, and I'm not going to. But if that's the role the kid has to play, then the kid has to be able to coach the kid who's taking his spot. And that's a neat dynamic when you have the leadership that's able to do that, where kids are helping each other. And so if we're able to do those things, I think we'll have great success.
Looking forward to it.
Yep.
No doubt. As we wrap up here, we'll talk about the fall sports.
Yeah.
A lot of good things going on in fall sports this week as well.
I'm going to see if I have a text from tennis yet.
See how they're doing.
They start at 10 o'clock, so they're 55 minutes into their match. Yesterday, we already alluded to it. Congratulations to them. They won their regional semifinal match against Zapata 10-1. Came out of doubles, play all the doubles matches, play 7 doubles matches, 3 girls doubles, 3 boys doubles, and 1 mixed. And we were 6-1 coming out of doubles. And then, 4 or 5 matches into the singles play, we win enough to get to 10, and the game's over. So Bernie did the same thing. They dispatched La Feria in a relative similar manner. So we're playing our district opponent, Bernie, in the regional finals for a shot at the state tournament next week. And so hopefully they'll get that done. Bernie's always a formidable opponent in tennis for sure. We've kind of at times we've traded places in terms of the state deal, especially in individual tennis. I think last year they beat us out on the Lone Star Cup points in individual tennis because they were able to win a couple of the gold medals at the state tennis tournament. So, and then cross country is traveling to Corpus on Sunday for the region boys cross country for the Region 4 championship. Meet at University of Corpus Christi, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, excuse me. And so they're competing at 11 o'clock in the morning. It's a nice venue. Talking to Coach Aldridge coming out of district. They won district, of course. Times were good. Andrew Kendrick, he's a stud. He set a, record or whatever, ran a personal PR and is getting after it. And Coach Aldridge, if we run well, we'll get to qualify for state, and I think he thinks that we might have a chance to get a medal at state based on our times and how they match up. So,
nice.
Hope everything goes well with them. Wish them luck and all the best in that deal. That'll happen Monday afternoon. And then volleyball is on the road at Canyon Lake tonight. First time all year that volleyball has actually played the same team we're playing at the same site. So typically in the old days, that's the way it was every week. They always played who we were playing, and they got to be on the same side. So it'll be kind of cool. I think after they play today and they get the win against Canyon Lake, then they'll come over and support the football team at the game. And they're in the battle. They really need to beat Canyon Lake to make the playoffs. They beat Canyon Lake the first time. They've beaten Bandera once and lost to Bandera once, and they've beaten Llano once. So they really need to win out to secure a playoff spot. Had a battle the other night against Bernie at home. They won the first game and then lost the next 3, but they played really well in the first game, and it was senior night, and the seniors really balled it up, and so they're doing a good job. So we're just doing what we do, and hopefully we'll get to be able to engage the playoffs as we move forward. And team tennis, if they're able to win today, then they'll play state finals starting on Wednesday of next week at 8 a.m. in College Station, and then if they win Wednesday, then they'll play for the finals on Thursday. So.
I guess swimming's going on, and I guess basketball practice.
Yeah,
has started,
girls basketball.
So.
Good point. Thank you for reminding me of that. Swimming started 2 weeks ago. They had their first meet on Friday 2 weeks ago, and they went to a meet last Saturday, I believe, or maybe they're going to another one this Saturday. And they're getting in line to do what they typically do. We've kind of cracked the shell of. Kind of going to the state meet is kind of the expectation now, which you know, what a long way we've come since the days when I got here and we didn't even have swimming. And we now have swimming, and now we expect to go to the state meet every year. So the great community of swimming, and you know, all the support they get, and they're doing a great job. And then girls basketball started on Wednesday. Coach Grona did a great job. They had a big competitive kind of a midnight madness kind of deal. It wasn't at midnight, but it was in the afternoon. And then the parents all cooked for the kids, and they kind of had a family deal. And so great way to start. And I don't think the expectations could be any higher for them coming off of a great year last year. You know, lost to the state champions or the state finalists, Liberty Hill, in the third round last year. And you know, so she's expecting great things out of them, and they've got a good team. And so, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff going on. Boys basketball will start this coming week, and then soccer will start right around when we come back from Thanksgiving. So it's all going to be rolling, man, pretty quick. So
it will be rolling. Well, Coach, go get them tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank y'all folks for coming. And
like
God
the
bless
crowd,
everybody.
man.
Like that?
Like the crowd. Got to like the crowd. Whoa,
love the crowd.
Whoa,
love
whoa,
the
whoa.
crowd. Well, God bless you folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. United-Live.com.
Thanks for all your support, and King and Cayman and their broadcast. I've heard nothing but great things about that. Certainly at some point I'd like to listen to one of those, but I'm a little busy, so I'm not going to put my earbuds in and listen. So,
well, if you can't make it tonight, they will be there calling the game right here, TexasRadio.net.
Cool.
And thanks to United-Live.com, Paige Finley as well. God bless you folks. Have a good one.